One of the things we're just looking for definite clarity on, because Steven said, yes, I'm very confident. Yesterday you said, yeah, I had a positive conversation with Jerry. Have you talked with Jerry about definitely coming back next year? Was that a conversation?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's no, we didn't have. I mean, I'm full speed ahead. I mean, our whole conversation was, obviously we talked about the disappointment of the game and things that went into the game, and but the majority of our conversation was about aligning all the positive things that we have and how we're moving forward and the direction. Obviously, we have some things going on with our with our staff, with both Dan and Kellen with interviews. But yeah, our conversations have all but full steam ahead. I mean, I think I get that you have a job to do and everybody has a job to do and how certain opinions go. But at the end of the day, internally we're full speed ahead. The exit interviews with the players, were phenomenal. It's trust me, we're all very, very disappointed that you and I are having this type of conversation today because we all felt that what we accomplished during the regular season, we really posed ourselves for a playoff run. So, but it also is a harsh reminder how tough it is to win these games, and we didn't play well enough to win.
So, job status just never came up. It's just planning ahead, talking about the game. That just never came up between you and Jerry.
Yes, no, we talked about everything that needs to be talked about. So,
Coach, did it ever bother you when after the games the players would point the finger at the officials? We're sitting here saying, well, you didn't play well enough, and there was a lot of other reasons, and you didn't lose because of the officials and just one play. It shouldn't have come down to that. Don't make excuses. Have some accountability. Did you ever feel that way when that was some of the post-game reaction from the team?
I'll say this. We have building blocks. That we talk about, we refer to, quite frankly, and availability and accountability is one of the key ones. What I've learned with this job is, there's things that get said after games that, you have to give it 24 hours. So, and I think that's clearly the beauty of the Monday team meetings and the Monday evaluation process, because even the players, kid around with me, our victory Monday, when we do win and we have a victory Monday, the players still work. They're not totally off, which is the way some people do it, because you still have to go through it. And my point is the accountability process is in place and it's constant with us. So yeah, did a guy or two make a comment about officiating after a game in some of our games this year? Yeah, absolutely, probably. But as far as how we address it, we don't blame officials for outcomes of games. Now have we been frustrated coming out of a game because of some things that went on and maybe officiating was part of it? Absolutely, but that's the game of football. And let's be honest, it's tongue in cheek here. I mean, you're doing your job if you get the individuals that have to answer questions after games to say something. So yeah. I mean, if a guy gives an honest answer, speaking from the heart after a game, and then then he has a chance to take a step back and speak with his mind the next morning. I think we have to understand that that's professional sports, and there's definitely a discipline in that. There's an experience in that. Hey, you guys are great guys and everything, but trust me, you're the last people I want to talk to right after the game. That's definitely job responsibility is checking a box, but I do understand it's part of it, and our players do too, and I think our players do a good job. I think our players here, I've worked at a few places in this league. The demands that are on our players are second to none, and I think they do an outstanding job with it. And but yeah, is there going to be a comment or two a year that they have to step back the next day? Yes, absolutely. But if we're in the compare and everything, our players do a great job compared to their volume of responsibility in this area compared to their peers. That's for sure. That's without a doubt. I worked at a place that's pretty popular here before I got to Dallas.
I've always wanted to ask you about that, not that you came from, a JV high school job. You're with the legendary program winning a title with the Packers, but what's different or something really unique about coaching the Cowboys, Mike, that you were like, okay, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Like, what is separated from your Green Bay spotlight being the head coach of the Cowboys? Anything like clearly jump out?
I mean, there's a number of things. I think the biggest thing is, and I think it's like any job that you would compare to the Cowboys. I mean, it's so unique. Just the way the structure, just the fanfare is intense. I mean, it's intense in Green Bay, but this is unbelievable here. The passion, the people that have for the Dallas Cowboys, but you're also in you're in a great sports city here too. I mean, high school football here is just off the chart. I mean, just the whole environment and how the Dallas Cowboys are so embedded into this community here is that's super special. But there's a lot of things here. The thing I love about it is the people. I mean, you got people here that have been here a long time and are obviously very good at what they do. But it's their passion to get back to the championship and bring the trophy home. And frankly, that's all I'm in it for. I mean, once you hold the trophy, there's nothing else like it. Going to playoffs is just like I said. I think we talked about this last week. The playoffs is the starting line. So, and obviously we didn't get past the first leg, but it's all about winning championships, and this place has a chance to do it like none other.
Coach, I want to ask you about the final play. I know you went into detail about it yesterday, but in terms of like the call, is that the set play from the sideline? Was there anything Dak changed at the line of scrimmage to I don't want to say go rogue, but make that himself?
There's no rogueness. It's a play. It's a last two situation. So we're down to our last two plays of the game. It's all sequence. You have play calls that are laid out from the 40-yard line to the 30, then from the 30 to the 10. I mean, so it's all practice rehearsed. The last segments of the plays of the game were laid out no different than a red zone plan or a third down plan, your 2-minute plan. So yeah. So as far as what we were expecting, they were in a sideline defense, which when you look at the film, they were protecting the sidelines because we had actually run two sideline offensive plays prior to that to move the ball down to the 40 plus here where currently we were there. And so with that, being above the 13 seconds, puts us in a tight clock, situation. And so versus that defense, that's exactly the call you want. You want the quick 3-step drop pass or the draw. And based on how they lined their D lineman, Armstead's about 6'9", and he's playing the jumper position, looking for the quick pass. The draw is the right call there. So it's Kellen sent it in, and the draw check was appropriate. And so as far as the play and the execution, everything was intact. Just sitting here yesterday with Dak going through it, moving forward, we got to probably put a 10-yard limit on the game.
Yeah.
So he was aggressive there, but the mechanics at the end is really the breakdown of the play. So.
Right.
And that's something that we've obviously had a lot of conversation, and that's something that's it's a big it's part of the outcome. So we got to learn from it. I think the conversation with everybody that needs to be involved is there, and it's clearly unfortunate we didn't have an opportunity to take a shot at the end zone because it's clearly a better play selection or play opportunity from the 25-yard line than it is from the 42-yard line.
I saw a video of, I think it was the Ravens, where they had basically the same play, and the official got there a little bit quicker, tapped the ball. Should they change how the process is done from an officiating standpoint?
Just the trailing ref. Is there too much onus, Coach, on the trailing ref being Michael Johnson sprinting up there? I'm not trying to get you in trouble with the league, but we did see the overhead shot of a 15, 20-yard sprint versus maybe a sideline official coming in horizontally who sees the spot of the ball and can maybe be there faster.
Technically, it was a 28-yard sprint.
They clocked it.
He measured it. I would measure it to
40 time.
No, I think just in conversation, I mean, it's definitely something that'll be part of their training tape. It's definitely has made us, take a step back and evaluate, what can we do better so the referee can have a cleaner, maybe open up the A gap, so. If he is in a 28-yard full sprint, there's a little more room for him to go right through there, so he doesn't run into the quarterback. So all those things were talked about, and that's, unfortunately for us, I think the teams in that situation and the officials in that situation will be better prepared.
Coach, I want to ask you your reaction and see if you think it's a fair. Probably the number one criticism of you is Mike McCarthy needs to improve as a game manager. Those situations dealing with the clock. How fair, unfair do you think that main criticism of you is?
Oh, I don't agree with it because obviously I know the specifics of why the decisions that were made. So I mean, we don't have time for all this, but we could go through every one of them, and there's a clear reason why. Now, there was a mistake made in the Charger game. There, we had a substitution there at the end. So with dealing with the substitution mistake, and then the clock that we were all viewing from there on our sideline did go off the board. We had to recalibrate, and then we just obviously kicked the field goal and won the game. But so that was it. We had a substitution there that created that situation. But when you go through other decisions, I think I don't know. Well, I thought I talked to you guys about this before, but anyways, I think in every situation involving timeouts and things like that, there's usually a conservative option or an aggressive option. No different with fourth downs. To me, they all are in the same category. So if you take a conservative option, like not calling a timeout before the Philadelphia game because you're worried about their pass rush when they're backed up, because we did give up a sack fumble early in the game, you take a conservative option there. I mean, it doesn't make you wrong, And if you look at the way the game concluded, our defense was in command of the game, so it's end up being the right decision. So I think if you go through the specifics of it, I'd talk game management with anybody. I'd put our process up against anybody. We got a really good crew here and I think our in-game communication is excellent. I think the people that do know, particularly in league circles, we're on a game management conference call every Wednesday night with a group of people in that area. So there's a lot that goes into it, but as you know, it's about execution on game day. And I think we have a very healthy process, and our guys are well prepared. My disappointment is for as much time as we spend on it, particularly in season Friday and Saturday. We even gone back to, we did a bunch of it more than I ever have in the spring in the OTA. So, and I just believe in ROI. The return on investment is we're only going to be better moving forward. And I think part of being a leader is you take the hits when things don't go wrong, and you spread the credit around when it goes right. And that's a part of my management style, always has been, and I think I got a lot of dents because of it. But I feel it's part of being a good leader.
Coach, final thing here. It just seemed like after the New England game, the offense was humming. It was like Dak was an MVP candidate. He has the calf injury, and then just seemed like some things changed. Was there like a lingering injury? Was there a mechanical thing that changed with him? It just seemed like he wasn't as accurate, wasn't going downfield as much. Was anything different? It's really that stretch here. Denver, Atlanta, Kansas City, the Raiders. I mean, that was definitely the rough stretch here where we lost 3 out of 4. But yeah, I would say no to the injury. He's such a tough individual. He would, not that he let you know if he really was hurting. But yeah, I just think it was a combination of a number of things. We, both our running backs were dealing with injuries. We had some movement in the line, and I think it's just like anything in the game of football. When you do have change up front, or if there's any change in your run offense or run defense, we got to do a really good job of giving variation and other opportunities around that. So, and you have to go through that. I mean, I haven't seen too many
16 or 17 game seasons where you're going to go cleanly through that. And that was definitely our roughest patch to get through, and it was bumpy as hell. But I think the biggest thing is, we responded with four wins, and then we had the tough game here against Arizona. But we won 5 of the last 6, and I thought we really put ourselves in good position going into the playoffs.